just feeling that nose off, so we need a bit of back pressure. That nose to the right. Now we get that full power. Holding that nose, controlling that nose. We want to hold that nose down.
Yep.
I suspect our trim is probably not quite right. Holding those wings level. Bit of right rudder. Bit of right rudder.
Yep.
So holding that nose, controlling that nose. Feel that nose, that right wing come down.
Yeah.
That's just the right rudder. Get that balance. Yeah, that balance. Not consistent, so you're not. You should just apply constant, steady pressure. And we turn right now. So cleared left, forward, right.
Clear right.
And we want our flaps up too. And that float is going to come higher.
Yep.
10 miles, not above 3,000 feet, so this is 28 and still at the 3 POB.
You can feel it slipping.
Yeah.
Coral. Townsville approach, Zulugoff, Quebec has turned right, passing through 900 on climb to not above 2,000.
Zulugoff, Quebec, Townsville approach identified.
You see that nose wavering around.
Yeah.
Are you trimmed at the 55? You can see that balance falls out on the right. You haven't got enough right rudder.
Yep.
And you can see that's the heading that we should be heading to go. We're at 1,000 feet. We can now sort of level it and start going to a cruise climb. That's 60 to 70 knots.
Sure.
And that means you get better forward visibility.
Yep.
And we're tracking to, basically visually control there. You can feel that right wing dropping.
Yeah.
Are we properly trimmed?
Observation back to Delta, current wind 030 degrees 10 knots, cloud view 3,500, temperature 27.
You can see we're not on that heading.
Yep.
You don't want to go above our last one.
Yep.
Zulugoff, Quebec, requesting amended level not above 2,500.
Zulugoff, Quebec, roger, recleared, not above 2,500.
Recleared not above 2,500. Zulugoff, Quebec. What are we trying to do right now?
So we're trying to stay at 2,000. Now we can go up to 2,500, so we want to go back into a cruise climb. We want to stay on that track. We want to stay straight and level and balanced.
No, we properly trimmed. Take your hands off the yoke. See, that nose is coming out, so we need a bit of forward pressure to control it. So level it out and not at two down.
Yep.
Remember, we can't climb above 2,500.
Yep.
So get that note, set the attitude, hold it, let the speed build up. Now you can see the RPM. We need power back to 5,000 RPM.
Yep.
And now trim it.
Australia 28, advisory attempts to the approach, full stop, runway 01 or circling Bravo.
Australia 28 will be for circling taxi Bravo after the overshoot.
Copy, so you'll overshoot from the runway and back around for left base Bravo.
Australia 28 later.
Copy, expect that.
Stuart, the jail down there?
Yeah, that's right. You can see so the Stuart VFR route follows out, so there's a highway.
Yep.
You can see the highway there.
Yeah, see.
You can see we sort of tend to follow a sort of railway line or you can see where the highway goes to the left.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a track which is I know the old railway line.
So can I start tracking right now?
So we can start turning. But keep ourselves below 2,500.
Yep.
Now we can sort of reset that heading back on what so that ALAP. So you're always thinking, what are we doing here? We're flying straight and level.
Yep.
Am I properly trimmed? Am I sort of flying to a reference point? So we know Donington's out.
Take 589 Delta, contact Brisbane Center 120.55, good day.
120.55, Kelly 589 Delta.
Feel that nose coming up. I can feel it right from the start there. So it's not quite thick.
Could that have been, oh shit, is that some turbulence there?
Yeah, so we'd like it to get a bit of turbulence and wind going over these mountains.
Yeah.
Will create a tumbling effect on the leeward side of the mountain.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see what the wind's like out at Donington. I mean, it's basically a northerly blowing,
Yep.
but it's often quite different at Donington.
Okay.
So the runways are 11 and 29. So 29, we'll just see what it's like.
Yeah, sure.
But as I say, it won't be too strong and it'll be down one of the runways. So you can see this little...
Oh, you want that one?
We want to fly between the highway and this the old railway line.
Yeah, sure.
Not the old railway, that's the old road.
Okay.
Folks, Zulu Golf Sierra, Lead Cape Cleveland, forward Townsville Coast, full motor balance, 5,500, super FPM said Charlie, currently 900.
Zulu Golf Sierra, Townsville approach, so identified, clear to Townsville by the coast, over 1,500, clearance for that kissing point.
I can feel that nose climbing again.
Yeah. I was just trying to get us back up to 2,500, I was at 2,400.
G'day, Unity 642, passing 2,300 on 16,000.
Unity 642, Townsville approach today, identified, climb to flight level 180, reaching 3,000, cancel SID, track direct, limo, no speed restrictions.
I'm on 180, reaching 3,000, cancel SID, direct limo, no speed restrictions, Unity 642.
642 approach.
Unity 642.
Tracking to the west of the airspace is available. I think you'll be heading out to the west now, and then to Conquari via Penny, advise.
Oh, we're happy to accept that. Thanks, Unity 642.
Unity 642, roger, turn right heading at 260 vectors for track shortening.
Right heading 260, Unity 642.
Golf Sierra, contact Tower 18.3. Gesture 28, clear visual approach via the localizer. Once established on the localizer, contact Tower 18.3. They are aware of your intentions.
Yeah, visual approach via the localizer. Once established with a tower 118.3, Gesture 28, thanks. Townsville approach, g'day, helicopter Zurich Yankee is maintaining on above 1000.
Yankee approach identified.
Here it's sort of telling us that there's basically an easterly wind.
Yep.
So that's what's happening. The wind's coming over and tumbling over the Mount Elliott there, and it's sort of causing a bit of turbulence.
Yeah.
Descent. And I don't know if you can see that there's a little runway just on our nose. It's a little bit hard to see. It's looking nice and green right now from all the rain.
Yep.
And there's a shed. So we actually want to fly over the follow this this route that we're on.
Yep.
And you can see the highway comes around and then basically joins up with where we're going to join. And the airfield's basically where that, the highway straightens up and follows our track.
Oh, and then
it's just to the left, the rough airfield runs,
sure.
Basically 1-1 and 2-9.
Sure.
So essentially it's an east-west.
So we're trying to overfly.
We want to actually overfly it at about 1,200 feet, so we can descend now.
Yep, sure. So attitude.
Yeah, so how do we descend the aircraft? So what am I trying to do?
Yep. Power.
Pull the power back to about, say, 4,600. Put the car head on.
Navigation 7 miles to the southwest of Townsville. Track direct to Penny. Re-cleared.
And we want to get ourselves descending 500 feet a minute.
To Conquari, 5180.
And I want to fly this way because there's a windsock on the left.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, where the shed is, so I can just tell what the wind's doing on the ground.
Position Penny, then direct Conquari via Whiskey 528. And just say again, altitude Unity 642.
Contact level 180.
80, Unity 642.
Still Golf Sierra, contact Tower.
The terrain out here is about 200 feet above sea level.
Okay.
So 1,000 feet above ground level is 1,200.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So always remember, you need to know the level of the airfield. So your circuit height is 1,000 feet above ground level. So you can see the airfield in front of us now.
Yeah.
Another field over there, which is Stark.
Okay.
All the little buildings and stuff there.
Yeah. Stuff looks like it's
0.55, good day.
Center 120.55, good day, Unity 642.
Yeah, we're overflying at 1,500 feet, so this will be okay. And we can see this. You can see the wingsock there.
Yep,
so
crosswind.
It's like a southerly, which is just a total pain in the neck.
Yep.
It's not much wind there, but
Yeah.
it's pretty limp there. Much wind, but it's favouring you. So 1-1. So yeah, I'll take over here.
Sure. Go
And I'm going to sort of. So we actually join at what they call a mid-crosswind.
Yep.
So I'm going to get myself down to 1,000 feet. This is the dead side of the runway. The active side is for a left circuit.
Copy, mark that turn left. X-ray Kilo. Mark that okay, X-ray Kilo, we can go ahead. So mate, how are you travelling there? Are you still going?
Come on, get off the fucking...
We were about to pull up, mate.
Yeah, this is the guy on this bloody CTAP.
Yep. And could they be the
They
ones?
should be having a general chat on the CTAP.
Yep.
Would you be able to land and put your machine away first so I can land on the pad?
Yeah.
Yeah, roger mate, will do.
Morons.
Right.
Donington traffic, Foxtrot Zulu Golf Quebec is joining the circuit mid-crosswind, runway 11, and we'll be doing a stop and go Donington traffic. Yeah, bloody... So we're at a... I'm actually flying now, join the circuit mid...
read on my com?
Come on, get off the fucking road, radio.
You're real scratchy.
Scratchy, fucks.
You're looking at the road, whatever.
This is a busy bloody thing, there's guys over at Palm Island.
Yep.
Rob, I'll talk to Rob later. If he could just go to the hangar.
So if you're looking there now, you should be looking at that Pitot tube, and it
Yep.
should be pretty well
In
on.
line. Yeah, it is,
So this
yeah.
is really the circuit spacing.
Yep.
And we're just going to fly, and you can see where the taxiway is for the hangars. That's our aim point.
Sure.
And we're just going fly. We're going to do our pre-landing checks. You know,
Yep.
4,800. So it's brakes, carriage is down, mixtures, fuel,
Yep.
difference T's and P's. And are we sort of trimmed? Not really. So there. Now I'm looking so back, so we're really looking to be about 30 degrees. We've got a pont here, which is actually not a bad little indicator.
Yep.
So I'm now going to sort of put carb heat on,
Yep.
power back
Yep.
to 3,500. Let the speed sort of bleed off.
Yep.
And I always tend to got first stage of flaps.
Yep.
I'm going to trim it back, so we want it at 60 knots.
Coming under base, you want 60?
Yeah, and I'm going to get next, 55 to 60 knots, trim it all the way back. Is on base, so we're perpendicular,
Yep.
and I'm fair, balanced, don't have to really sort of fight it much.
Yep.
Just keeping the wings level. And we're going to be way, way high, so I'm going to get it down.
Yep.
You're losing altitude, we're still at 1,000 feet essentially.
Yep.
Got the power all the way off, so I'm trying to lose altitude.
Yep. Bit of 20-degree turn onto final.
See, it's a little bit different to what we're used to sort of seeing on the main runway.
Yep.
And as I say, we're...
And that windsock's also changed.
Yeah. No, I'm interested in is have we got a tailwind? Because it's possible that we could have a tailwind.
Okay. Yep.
Which will make us really float, and we're way, way too fast.
Yep.
You've got to get us down.
So your side is
Side slipping.
Yep. Do you have to go on a particular side, or
No,
can you...
so more or less into the wind, yeah, and probably a bit of a tailwind, so we probably should be using the other runway, but that'll be alright. I'm just want to get ourselves down, get my speed back.
Yep.
55 knots. And again, wings are level.
Yep.
We're flying down, essentially down the runway, but you can see where we're floating
Yeah.
a lot. That's because of the first thing, yeah. As I say, it's hard to really sort of tell. The wind's a bit fluffy, and that actually is to some extent even more bit of a pain in the neck, because if you get the combination of tailwind, headwind, it can tend to bugger up your approach. But you've got plenty of runway here.
Yeah.
We're going to turn it around.
Yep.
Actually, I'll fly a pattern this way. So now, if I go take off this way, it's a left-hand circuit that we're after. So we're going to actually sort of do a bit of a demonstration. This of the work cycles. I'm going to pre-trim.
Yep.
Going to put the first stage of flaps out.
Yep.
And again, it's really important to sort of keep that nose, because you've got the whole line of trees and shit on the side there. So it's the same sort of deal.
Yep.
So we're keeping our nose, keeping that now, lifting that nose just a little bit.
Just one carb head.
So I've got the nose off, I'm keeping that nose. Now we're getting full power.
Yep.
Full power, keeping the nose, and it's going to fly off by itself.
Yep.
And I suspect that we've got a bit of a tailwind here.
Yep.
It's taken a while, although that's soft.
Strange,
isn't it? Very, but the nose is consistent, so 55 knots.
Yep.
And we're controlling it. I need a bit of forward pressure there, actually.
Approach descending 84, descending 9,000 received. We have 9-0.
So 200 feet, flaps up.
Yep.
Pre-trim, 55 knots. So the 500-foot mark is about 700 feet coming up. So we're still holding it. And again, I'm not having to do much at all. Keeping that ball in the middle, keeping the nose consistent. Coming up to that 500 feet. Clear right, forward, clear left. I've got a reference point, which is that little bit of quarry with a bit of road work. We're trying to make sure we're balanced, and you can feel when it's not balanced, and we're just doing a nice sort of turn, and we're rolling out. Actually, I'm sure that's actually wrong. I'm going to put that heading onto 28, which is right. So we basically have nose is on that quarry.
Sure.
That is actually on the right, looking back.
Yep.
55 knots.
And we're looking to climb
forward. Yeah, climbing to 1,200 feet. I'm actually going to turn now, because I think those are the...
You're looking for that pitot tube.
Yeah, so a slightly different thing from my perspective. We're basically at 1,200 feet. I'm going to now sort of lower their nose, let the speed build up, power back to 5,000. Going to re-trim it, and there's trim. And that, if you're looking on it, that pitot tube should be pretty well.
Yeah, it's a bit low, but that's okay.
Yeah. So we just now do downwind checks, our pre-landing checks, brakes, undercarriage. Mixture, we have got a mixture. Fuel is on the left-hand tank. There's sufficient instruments. Our T's and P's are all in the green. Hatches and harnesses are secure. I've got to make sure I get myself a little bit more even. See, there's a bit of sink that comes on this side. So but again, pretty well clipped. 5,000 RPM. That is down at the bottom where it should be. And you can use some reference points, so we've got all of this structure over here, which is probably not a bad little reference point. So I'm now going to have carb heat is on, looking back there, 30 odd degrees, get the power back to 3,500. Holding the nose up, speed below, first stage of flaps.
DME decent, 6,000.
36 DME to 6,000 for Pamia now,
Re-trimming, so I want that 55, 60 odd knots. Get your flaps out. You can see it doesn't, we're not sort of fighting the aircraft. It's relaxed. We're descending 500 feet a minute. Looking at perpendicular to the. And what I'm going to do is show you what I want you to sort of do next. But as I say, concentrate. So it's, you can see at 55 to 60 knots.
Yep.
Pretty good. We're coming up at about 600 feet.
Yep.
Picturing that runway, turning, and we just roll it gently. Bit of left
So
rudder.
that's sort of a 15 to 20.
Yeah, gentle sort of little roll onto the runway heading. Now we're just looking at where's our aim point.
Yeah.
And
Is it that sort of after the first bit of rough and then
so
that green?
now it's we're looking at a consistent. We want those wings level. Controlling sync, so you've got your hand on the throttle all the time.
Yeah.
So tending to sort of control a little bit more with rudder, but we don't want to be sort of doing this type of thing. It's where you sort of start slipping and whatever.
Yep.
And we're sort of keeping it. And essentially, we're now sort of about 200 feet above the ground.
Yep.
And there's often a bit of sink at this point, but we're keeping aim point aspect, and that aim point, which is into the runway a little bit.
Yeah.
We're sort of keeping a bit of an eye on all of that.
Yep.
And you can see there's actually a bit of a left crosswind here. 55 knots. Keeping it down. And as I say, the first up sort of point, I'm going to carb head in.
Yep.
And now we're sort of about 60 feet, and I'm going to now smoothly apply power.
Yep.
And I want to fly along the runway at about this height.
Yep.
So, and I'm virtually not looking. I'm keeping an eye just with my peripheral vision.
Yep.
And part of what you're doing is getting a, this is where it becomes really important.
Yeah.
Because it's now the climb out is this. You're sort of climbing out.
Okay. Yep.
And now I need a bit of. As you can see, I've applied a bit of rudder. Nose is controlled.
Yep.
Bit of forward body trim.
Yep.
Safe speed. First stage of flaps.
Yep.
First safe speed. Second stage of flaps.
Yep.
Trimming it forward. Okay.
Yep.
And you can take over. You have control.
I have control.
And when we're doing these, our hand is down on the throttle. So we're now sort of flying. So about that sort of 600 feet, we're now clearing the turn right, forward, left.
Turn
We've got that big quarry as a good actual reference point.
Yep.
So climbing, turn. No more than 15 degrees. You can feel that nose coming down. So we're now nice and balanced.
Yep.
And again, that's going to be at right angle.
Right angles,
And you look back, are we perpendicular? Yep. Now we keep on maintaining wings are level, keep that climb going.
Yep. At about 60.
55, 60, yep. Making sure that we're controlling that nose.
Yep.
We probably need to sort of start our turn.
Yep.
So you're looking back and say, yep, this is the space. We're not quite at 1,200 feet, which will be the 1,000 feet AGL, but we are now. We need to lower that nose.
Yep.
You push that nose down. Because otherwise we're still keeping on climbing. We're now sort of turning downwind.
Yep.
What's our spacing like?
So I haven't quite got it in the pitot tube yet. So
yeah, probably a
bit
little
high.
bit, probably a little bit close, and we're high. So we need to get ourselves down to 1,000. Get our power back, get ourselves trimmed.
So that's about there, the pitot tube.
Yeah. So that's the spacing.
Yep.
And you can remember there's that.
The place over there.
Yeah, but I can see that nose coming up again.
Sure is.
So it's really important. So now brakes are off. Undercarriage is down. Mixture. Rich. Fuel is on. Left-hand tank.
Instruments.
T's and P's in the green. Yeah. And it's holding. See we're now high. So the risk is that and we're probably close.
Yep.
As well.
Yep.
You're looking back and trying to get that 30 to 40 degrees.
Yep.
Back to that aim point, which is past the fence line. So it's into the runway a little bit.
Sure.
You don't want to get tangled up with trees flying your approach.
Yeah.
But you do need to get yourself down. You're now 300 feet high.
Yep.
Now we're actually probably flying away from the runway.
Yeah.
So power back 1500. That's that little reference point that I use. So 3500. Get some hold that nose up, speed, get the speed off.
Yep.
Now for some flaps and get that turn going.
Safe flaps.
Clear the turn
Clear.
and you get a reference point, but
Yep.
it can also be that, so when
Yeah.
that,
Comes around.
but you want to get it around, 30-degree angle back
Yep.
turn, because now all the time you're flying, you're getting further away.
Yep. Oh shit. It was rudder.
You can see we're a fair distance away.
Yep.
So our normal turn point was that
That little
property
place,
over
yeah.
there.
Yep, see.
So now we want to trim it for 55 to 60 knots, and you can put some more. Now we're flying that approach now. 3,200, and we will need a little bit of power because we are so
Shit.
small increments.
Yep.
And let's get that nose under control. And we see we're not actually descending at all.
Yeah.
Get some more flaps out,
Safe flaps.
and then trim it. Now I can tell you we're not trimmed properly.
Yep.
And we're almost coming up to that
Yep. So turn.
You see, we haven't actually descended at all. We're at 1,000 feet here. We should be at 700 feet. So we know we're going to be high, so we need to get that power right the way off and turn ourselves onto final.
Okay.
Balance turn, balance turn, balance turn. You can see that, little dips of rudder. You see, we're very sort of dodgy.
Yeah.
55 knots. So, I want you to fly that approach.
Yep.
But controlling those wings. Mostly just rudder, so you can see we're not pointing in the right direction. So get that nose
just
pointing.
trying to very gently.
Yeah, that's right. 55 knots.
Yep.
You can see that nose coming up,
Yep.
and you can, and now look at that speed, 45
drops right
knots.
off. Yep.
And you probably need, now we're probably on profile, so now we'll just trickle a little bit of power in.
Yep.
I'm going to put the carb heat in.
Yep.
You feel that nose coming up,
Yeah.
50 knots, no good. 55 to 60 knots.
Yep. Shit.
You can see why we'd like flying down the runway first.
Yeah,
So just
absolutely.
concentrating on getting that nose pointing down the runway. We're basically 200 feet above the runway right now.
Yep.
So we'll go to try and drop another 100 feet, and I want you to then sort of start flying down that runway.
Yep.
Okay, so we can smoothly apply power, and I want you to keep that nose straight. So as you're applying power, stop our descent rate. You can see that nose going to the, you need to apply a bit of right rudder.
Yep.
And then see now we're climbing,
Yep.
so we've got to hold that flying down the runway.
Yep.
See, we're into the trees now,
Yep.
so we need a bit, Look at our speed, look at our speed,
Yep.
look at our, push that
Yep.
nose down, get some speed. Now apply power. So what do you do for speed? Power. As I say, you cannot let that speed drop off like that.
Yep.
Control that nose. Control the nose. Control the nose. Nose down for speed. And I'm starting getting sharp about it because you've
Yep.
got to be on the ball with that.
Yep.
You cannot let that nose climb. So trim it, trim it. Look at that nose all over the place. Let's get some flaps up with that safe speed. Are we full power? Yep. Now.
Sorry, Chris.
No, it's all right. Okay, coming. So we're now. Jesus. Control that. You can feel the whole. Yeah, funny. So control that nose. You're trying to keep that nose nice and stable. Takes a bit of practice.
Yep.
We've set climate pitch, so we want to turn left. So what's our reference point? Cleared right, forward, clear left.
Yep.
15-degree angle of bank. Now we're 25-degree angle of bank.
Yep.
You can see when you've got it properly configured, you don't need to find, nice and relaxed, gentle. Are we perpendicular to? Yep.
Yep.
So we're flying off on our reference point.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's probably too soon.
Okay.
I suspect so. You're going to be too close here, I suspect. You can see 12 1200 feet coming up. Now you need to lower that nose quickly. Get it down. Let the speed build up.
Yep.
And now trim it and get the power back and trim it. To 5,000 and trim it. Yep. And now sort out your circuit spacing.
Yep.
Now we trim. You can see why it's important to trim because there's a lot of stuff to think about.
Yep.
And if you don't sort of think,
Yep.
you know, if you don't have it trimmed,
Yep.
while you're thinking of other things,
Yep.
the plane's going to do something else.
Yeah.
So is our spacing good?
It's okay.
You can see how we're sort of climbing.
Yeah.
So now we do our downwind checks, brakes are off, undercarriages.
Yep.
We have got a mixture. Our fuel is on left, which you have
Yep.
correct.
Instruments.
Instruments T's and P's, but you can see that nose is coming in that way, so we're going to start flying too closely.
Yep.
And you're actually looking at you should be looking at a reference point. You get a bit of a sense. You can see there's a bit of a lake or something in front of you. You've got that point on the left, which was our turning point, just down there, which worked pretty bloody well.
Yep.
And you're now flying, and you're thinking, okay, when I'm sort of coming up here, we're going to have to sort of turn ourselves onto base.
Yep. So around about now?
Yeah, so now we can start getting up carb heat on.
Yep. Carb heat.
Power back to 5200. Or 3500.
Yep.
Yeah. Hold that nose up, get the speed off. Let's get some flaps out and get a turn going. So we're turning, just on this side. That's much better. Now we get ourselves to 60 odd knots and trim it. Get ourselves around 30 degrees. Need a bit of left rudder.
Yep.
30 degree. Okay, perpendicular.
Yep.
That's much better spacing. We're flying down base.
Yep. Dropping 500.
But hold it, gentle control, gently on gentle. So now our power isn't really at 3500. So watch that nose. You can see the nose come up
straight away.
and now it's dropping down. So where should the nose be for this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we can get some more flaps out.
Yep.
You can picture that runway sort of coming up. Yep. So we're going to have to start a turn now. Clear right, forward, clear left. Yep. And we do a 30-degree angle of bank descending turn. We're keeping an eye on our speed and keeping us balanced onto the runway. Yeah, so a little bit soon. As I say, it's slow speed. You can feel that. See how but now we're sort of trying to get ourselves lined up on the runway. Yep. And you can see we're getting high. We're actually a bit high. We should be at around about the 500 feet. So get the power off.
Yep.
Now I want you to fly. Hold it balanced. So we should be trimmed right the way back.
Yep.
Almost. And now it's holding that just a little. You can see that nose dropping. Now it's dropping to the right.
Yep. So on 55.
55 knots. You can see that speed. So aim, point, aspect, airspeed, and get that nose down. I mean, when the speed drops off, I don't know why you seem to resist.
Yep.
What's the first thing you can do? Now the speed's building up. That nose is too low.
Yep.
So, and that nose is coming up too much. The carb heat in.
Yep.
Now we can smoothly apply power and fly level. I want you to fly level and control that nose. You can see we're drifting over to the why because we haven't got enough right rudder. You don't get it back by using ailerons. Right rudder, balanced, and hold that nose. You can see the speed bleeding off again. Now we can climb out. Let's get ourselves to a speed. You can see, control that nose. Control the nose. 55 to 60 knots. Now speed's up, so get our flaps, first stage of flaps, but you can control that nose. Are we trimmed? See that nose just comes straight up.
Yep.
The nose is, you must control that nose. Little inputs. So if your speed is off, one of the things to do is lower that nose, and it might be a counterintuitive thing because you can see the ground down there.
Yeah.
But if you go and raise that nose and apply power, nothing will happen. You'll still continue a descent. You start getting onto the back power side of it. Okay, 500 feet, turning left. climbing turn. Let's get ourselves, make sure we're trimmed, and let's get this tidy. That's much better, climbing turn. Rolling out on that reference point. Keep it climbing. So I can see that nose dropping, and it's just, all it does is it stops you climbing. You want to get to 1,000 feet as soon as possible.
Yep.
That's why we use the best rate. It really should be 55 knots. And let's get another climb, turn. You can get that to keep it balanced.
Yep.
See, 50 knots. What are we going to do? Lift, drop the nose. You see how your instinct reaction was to raise it?
Yeah.
Bad. Now let's get our turn going.
We want 1,200.
1,200 feet. So now we can lower that, get that nose down. Set the attitude. Set the attitude. Let the speed build up. It's already up there. Now pull the power back to 5,000. Get us trimmed. That spacing should be pretty good there.
Not too bad.
See how important it is to you've got to, because otherwise you're finding the aircraft. Now you've got to think of that downwind checks and brakes. You do it.
Undercarriage mix.
Yeah, but so I want you to look. Undercarriage, yes, we have got a wheel.
Yep.
We have got a mixture. Our fuel is on the left tank.
Yep.
It's checked.
Yep.
Instruments, our T's and P's are in the green.
Yep.
Hatches and harnesses are secured. What instructors tend to do is say, okay, you've done the fuel. How much fuel have we got in the left-hand tank?
At the moment, we have about 35.
Yeah. So make sure that you're not, when you actually look at the fuel, that you have actually looked at it.
Yeah,
and it's
sure.
registered. It's not just a. So you're looking at that ref turning point, which is this property down on the left there.
Yep, it is.
So now we've now climbed again.
Yep.
So we're looking at, we're coming up to our thing. So now we can pull that power back to 3,500. Carb heat on first.
Yep.
3,500. Speed below 80. Get the flaps out. Get the turn going.
Yep.
And you want the nose to go, so get the turn going.
Both flaps?
No, just one first stage first.
Yep.
Get ourselves configured for that 60 knots. Get it trimmed. That's the thing, get yourself stable on base.
Yep.
And once you're stable and trimmed, then put the halfway down base.
Yep.
So you can see, what's that nose doing? Control that nose. You need to be descending here.
Yep.
And push the nose, little bits. See, now we're 1,000 feet descent rate.
Yeah.
Because our speed has gone up, and now the nose is shifting over to the right. See, the nose. So now we're still flying away from the runway.
Yep.
So are we trimmed for 55 knots? You take that control, that yoke, your hands off the yoke. There's 50 knots, not.
Yeah.
What do we do? Now 45 knots. I mean, you keep on going, we're going to stall the airplane.
Yeah.
You've got to get that nose down.
Sure.
Your safety measure, if the speed's low, nose down.
Yep.
But now we're still really high,
Yep.
so we've got to get some flaps out. Now I'll take over from here, and I'm going to demonstrate again.
Yep.
Because we are high, I'm going to get the power right the way off.
Yep.
I'm going to push ourselves down,
Yep.
get ourselves on profile, keeping an eye on the speed. So we're already 500 feet now. I'm going to get ourselves back. But you can see, I don't have to really do much at all.
Yeah.
Close that. I've still got to have that on. If I pull the speed back and in the control at 55 knots, it'll give me quite a sink rate.
Yep.
And it'll come down, but you can see it just little. I'm keeping an eye on that nose and making sure, just mostly right, a little bit of aileron at times.
Yep.
But it's getting that speed controlled. You can see, so the nose is deviating. It's tracking the wrong way. But the thing is, I don't have to do much. 55 knots.
Yep.
And look at this. I can take my hand off.
Yeah.
And it's not actually doing very much. And I could actually land here quite easily.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop, and I'm going to fly down this runway. So I've arrested the rate of sink.
Yep.
I'm flying a bit of right rudder, but I'm controlling that nose.
Yeah.
You've got to control that nose, right rudder. Right rudder. Now fly full power,
Yep.
and that nose is in a set position.
Yep.
55 knots, safe speed, first stage of flap. You don't whack up all at once.
Trim.
And I've got quite a fair bit of forward
Yeah,
pressure. Forward pressure out, safe speed, flap up. So that's the picture, getting that mental picture of what should the nose be doing.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get ourselves set for that 55 knot.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do, mate, no worries.
And I'm controlling that nose.
Yep.
500 feet, cleared right forward, clear left, slightly less, right rudder. Still, I'm maintaining that 55 knots.
Yeah.
Bit of turbulence, a little bit choppy. 55 knots, right rudder. 55 knots, climbing. And you can see now, so this gives you a sense that 1,200 feet is coming up.
Yep.
I'm going to blow that nose, bang, it's lowered.
Yep.
Speed's going to build up.
Yep.
I'm now going to pull the power back, 5,000.
Yep.
Then clear right, forward, clear left. Look at a reference point down the horizon, get the turn going. Balanced. That's that little lake and stuff like this.
Yeah.
But I've also got that thing now. I said it really, we're on 4,800 really, so because otherwise you're screaming down, I'm going to retrim it, and you can take over.
Taking over.
So you can take little inputs.
Yep.
So are we properly trimmed now? So probably needs a little bit more right forward trim. So is that spacing? How's that spacing? Probably a little bit close. Might be right.
I'm okay on mine.
Yep. So we're flying towards a reference point on the horizon. We've also got that down the bottom.
Yep.
A few birds there. Now we do that brakes are off, undercarriages down. Mixture, we have got a mixture. Fuel on the left-hand tank store. T's and P's are in the green.
Yep.
Hatches and harnesses are all secure. And now we're concentrating on flying to your reference point where you know, just before that, and then at that reference point you know what you're going to have to do.
Beach 6,500, 6 right in the Foxtrot.
Yeah, so when we're coming up to that, we now want to fly along, get the power back to 3,500, between 32 and 3,500, hold the nose, get the speed back so we can get some flaps out. Okay, so once we're below there, we can get some flaps out and get a turn going. Now let's get a turn cleared right forward, cleared left.
Right, left.
And what we normally do here is go Donington Air Park, Foxtrot Zulu Golf, Quebec is turning left base runway 29 for a touch and go. Donington Air Park. Okay, so now we should fly perpendicular now. I want you to really concentrate on getting this aircraft properly trimmed 60. See, if we go down too quickly,
Yep.
you know, we get to our turning too soon,
Yeah.
and we haven't had time to descend properly.
Yep.
55 to 60 knots. It's way too high. Look at, don't look at the, look outside.
Yep.
Look outside.
Yep.
Don't chase numbers on here.
Yeah,
Don't
right.
chase numbers.
Yep.
You know what they think. Now get some more flaps out. Now retrim it, and we can see the runway, and it's probably about the right. So now let's turn onto that runway heading. Descending turn, balanced descending turn. 55 knots. Yeah, and that's pretty good. Now I want that, you're pointing that nose down. So the critical thing I want to see you right now is controlling that nose, controlling the speed. As I say, it doesn't require much, and once you've got it configured and trimmed, you can actually, it's quite straightforward. It's little inputs, little touches. That nose is going to the left, so a little touch on the right rudder. It's going off. Again, now I'm going to put the carb heat in.
Yep.
We're 200 feet, about 300 feet above the ground right now, and we're still doing pretty well this time, much better than the last time.
Yep.
And just keep it coming down, keep it coming down. I want to be in the middle of that runway, and now I want you to just fly along that runway. Just keep flying now, smooth. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Now smoothly apply power, and stop the arrest rate. I want you to fly along this rudder. Now you can see that nose going left straight away. Don't control it with aileron. Right rudder. With full power, so with full power we're going to be climbing. You don't fly along the runway with full power.
Okay.
Don't go pulling it back now. Let's climb out. Let's control. Let's get a climb going. Let's climb going. How do we climb this aeroplane? Get the nose up. Climb at 55 knots. Get that nose. Trim it. So what am I trying to do? Now we've got some speed. Now first stage of flaps. Control that nose. Second stage of flaps up. And now trim it. So this is the thing. What am I trying to do here? We're coming up to that 500 feet mark, so let's get ourselves properly trimmed. And you can see that we need a right rudder. The critical thing is not to control the yaw of the nose with ailerons. So let's get a turn going. We should be climbing. Nose is coming down, we're not going to be climbing. Are we trimmed? Get that 1200 feet, nose down. Let's get that nose down. Bang. Let the speed build up. RPM's building up, speed's building up. Pull the power back to 4,800. Get our spacing, get our turn going, get ourselves re-trimmed. We're on 4,800, let's slow the aeroplane down. Let's give ourselves a bit more time to think. Now we've got our reference point, which is that bit of water on our nose. Could be a hill there. Our circuit spacing's pretty good. Are we trimmed? Are we flying straight and level? And keep that nose, because the nose is still waving all over the countryside. Now we do our downwind checks. You can see it's pretty hectic, isn't it?
It is.
No brakes, unthink the brakes.
Brakes, undercarriage.
Look at it. Mixture, I've got a mixture.
Fuel on the left. Instruments, T's and P's
are in the green. And now you're concentrating, now you're sort of thinking in your mind mentally, what's coming up next? I've got to get to that point. I'm looking back. By keeping maintaining our circuit spacing, as soon as I come up, approaching that turning point, I'm going to sort of get the power back to sort of 3,200. I'm going to get the speed below the flat speed, get the flaps. It's below there, so get that first stage of flaps and get a turn going. We're going to hold that nose up. You see how our nose is dropping? And we're 1,000 feet a minute, so we're pretty close here. Although we're a bit further out, so there's our little turning point. Again, what you're doing is judging. It's a judgment thing of So with our reduced power, we are going to descend faster. So that's all right. Keep ourselves going into there. With the reduced power, get some more flaps out. Get ourselves configured. Get ourselves at 55 knots. 55 knots. Well, you've got to. Your instinctive reaction is to. It's like you're jiggling, like you're. It's what they call a mixing bowl. I've spoken to some pilots who say, I sort of tend to just move it around a bit like a mixing bowl, and I sort of get myself onto the ground. But it's controlling that sort of thing. So it's looking at our descent rate. So we're at 700 feet, 500 feet, and we, about right. We sort of, we can start a gentle turn because you don't want to turn too quickly. Balanced turn. Want to be lined up on that runway, 55 knots. You can see that nose just way too high. But, you don't want to. You don't want to sort of bring it back. Just now let's fly down that. much better. The windsock's showing the wind's coming from our right, so that nose is going to be pointing into the left, into the right a little bit. But keep that speed control going.
Yep. Power okay at this stage?
Yeah, I mean that's, you know, we're too high now, but that's okay. I mean you can pull the power right the way off. I mean your aim point.
Yeah.
But now as you pull the power, in order to keep the speed going, we're starting to sink.
Yeah.
Now I want you to fly down this runway.
Sure. So not
smoothly apply power and control that yaw by right rudder.
Yep.
Get
Jesus.
And hold that nose steady.
Yep.
It's actually quite a challenging little drill this.
Yeah.
But hold that nose steady. Hold the nose steady. You can do, it's a piece of piss landing the aeroplane to be able to do this once you can do this properly.
Right.
Okay, let's get some power and go out. Now control that nose with rudder, not with aileron. Full power. Get that speed, safe speed, 55 knots. And you can see that nose, I can feel it, so trim it. We trim it, you've got to trim it as soon as you can. You know you're going to have to push that trim forward and get that flaps up. It's stages at a safe speed now. It's getting better. The approach is getting better, as I say. We'll get there. You see, it's a very good way of judging, getting that maintaining control, flying down the runway. And we've got to get it to a stage where I feel comfortable with you flying about 5 or 6 feet above the runway.
Sure.
Okay, 500 feet, clearing. So we want 55 knots. What are we trying to do here? Climb out. If we're going to be climbing at 70 knots, we're not going to get to 1,000 feet for ages.
Sure.
This is a thing that I want you to really practice on doing. We're climbing out. How do we climb out?
Yep.
VY, 55 knots. Are we trimmed?
About now?
Oh no, you're the pilot.
Not yet. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to come around now and I want to go level off.
As the speed builds up, to get that power back, you can see how it really starts accelerating and you get it 4,800.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to turn this fuel tank on.
Yep.
I'm going to turn the left-hand one on.
Sure. Going to drop down a bit.
Yep. Go with 1200, get that power to 4,800. That Spurget spacing is not, getting a bit low now, so it's at 800 feet above ground level. Yep. We're probably a little bit far out now. So you remember there, that house over there is our turning point, so get ourselves back to 1200. And just keep it going, so I think, that's right. As I say, a bit of room's not too bad, because that just requires a bit of power to pull you in.
Sure.
And the risk factor is a lot less that you're going to get high, but you recognise that you're a bit far out, so what have you got to do to compensate for that?
Sure.
And you don't have to immediately react to change stuff. Okay, so get that power off. Back to 1500, carb heat first.
Carb heat.
Below then, flaps, get the turn going. And let's get a turn going. Balance turn, left rudder. Holding that nose up, let's get that speed back. So we're a fair way out, so we need a bit more power. So 3,500. You can see that we're a long way out because the runway's way over there.
Yep.
So we need to arrest that rate of descent. We're descending at 5,000 feet a minute there.
Jesus.
So we're going to go down pretty.
Yeah.
So but still we want that sort of 60 odd knots of speed. Control that nose. See the nose and the wings of the roar.
Yeah.
The thing is, you see our speed is right. What's our speed? How do we fly? What's an approach speed? How's
32.
Yeah, but what's our approach speed?
55 knots.
Yeah, so why are we doing 75? Now we've got the power right off, we've got our nose, we've now turned past our turning point.
Yep.
And now
Jesus.
It's just gently getting ourselves back into profile. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be done immediately.
Yep.
And then we sort of have ourselves more on profile. So we're probably getting a bit high now, but that nose is coming up.
Yep.
You can see that, it seems to have dropped off a bit. Yeah, let's get ourselves down. Hold that 55 knots. And as I say, it's a matter of being patient. The aircraft will, and I can. Another stage of flaps out as well. That will get that nose pointing down a bit more. Gives you better forward visibility. Probably need to get that. Look at our speed. Look at our speed.
Yep.
Look at our speed.
Yep.
It's not like this. It's forward. And I'm going to jump on that because it's.
Sure.
Let's get ourselves pointing down that runway. Let's control that. I can tell you definitely can't land that aeroplane doing this.
Yeah.
So let's control that. But keep that nose pointing down the runway. We're flying into the trees there now. Let's get some power going. Control. And you've got to stop this business.
Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. You've got to be flying up like that. Right rudder. Get that. Level those wings. You can't control the yaw of the aircraft by aileron.
Yep.
And you're still rolling. Yeah, now look at our speed again.
Yep.
Get that nose down a little bit. Get the rest of the flaps up. It's fairly.
Yeah. Trim.
You'll be. Yeah, right. What are we doing? We're climbing out. How do we climb out?
55.
Full power. 55 knots. Trim. Nose at an attitude. Don't worry. I need to put a bloody cover over that.
Yeah.
You're bloody focusing far too much on this.
Yeah.
And as I say, your reaction is we're too slow is to do this.
Yep.
It's like you don't quite know which way to sort of maneuver.
Okay, I want to turn left.
Yeah, turn left. But our speed, 55 knots. As I say, concentrating on flying accurately. Actually, I'm just going to get you to keep on climbing, but I want you to get it properly trimmed at 55 knots. I want you to climb to about 2,000 feet or 2,500 feet. Keep that bloody nose under control. I don't know what you.
I don't know what I'm doing with that, Chris.
Yeah, you're just too heavy. Just relax, nice and gentle. 2 fingers.
Yeah.
I want you to get that trimmed to 55 knots, and let's keep a climb going.
Okay.
3 minutes, right over break. Bone into it, we'll be dropping 2 batteries to the spot level, 7 zone.
I want you to do a climb to 2,000 feet and practice. Now I want you to do a left-hand turn, climbing turn. So clear right, forward, clear left. I want you to roll out onto our heading as though we're downwind again.
Yep.
Keep that turn going 55 knots, so that's a good downwind. So keep that climb going. I want you to fly parallel to that. So we're flying accurately. Keep the climb going.
Still climbing?
Yeah, absolutely. Go up to 2,000 feet. I want you to practice this at climbing.
Yep.
And holding that, getting that nose under control.
Yep.
55 knots. 55 knots.
Balance, that's Charlie on 2 Foxtrot. Now 7 minutes to start off operation. Over there to feel that balance. We're dropping 2 parachutes. Right, that's
Fucking hell.
And even go to 2,500 feet if you like.
Gonna go to 2.
Okay, go on, level it out, that's good.
Yep.
Now get that nose down, I want you to fly straight and level. And I want you to get that 4,800 to slow cruise, the power up, and I want you to get that trim. Are we trimmed properly?
No, we're not.
As I say, so what you're doing is you're flying along, just it's just little, little touches just to bring it back into. As I say, in a cruise, you're more on ailerons. You're not on rudder. The only reason why you might use a bit of rudder is to just get it back into balance.
Yep.
But when it trims out and straight and level, it's pretty well balanced as it is.
Sure.
So we're just flying out. Now, because we're at 2,000 feet, we need to descend along more to get down. So I'm going to sort of fly. I want you to fly along here a little bit.
Yep.
And then fly a base at 2,000 feet.
Yep.
And then I want you to configure it. We're going to then fly a long approach.
Okay.
At the cruise configuration, but now keep it going along. So you need to be much further away.
Yep.
And I want you to practice flying that approach and looking at that aim point. Yeah, we've climbed a little bit, but again, it's just there's no need to just suddenly jam it down.
Yeah.
We're in a cruise. We just let it just slowly, so make sure we're not climbing.
Yeah.
I just let it just sink slowly. It's you don't have to instantly fix it.
Sure.
It's small inputs, gentle inputs. We're actually about 2,000 feet AGL, so now we're going to turn base. So we're going to clear right, clear forward, clear left, get a reference point.
Yep.
Okay, that'll be
expecting canopy 5,000 feet and below, next 05 minutes, that's the song.
Okay, so that's pretty well on base. As you can see, we're perpendicular to the...
Yep.
So we can actually now pull our power off, but carb heat first. Now power back to 3,500. Get that speed going back. So hold that nose up, 3,500, and I want you to trim it at 55 to 16 knots. And I want you to practice on holding that nose. So this is a long descent. I want 3,200 to 3,500. See how we're 2,900? And I want you to practice trimming it. I want you to. This is an extended practice at controlling that nose.
I need to turn.
And we need to turn. Yep. So it's clearing the right forward, clearing left.
Yep.
Balance, turn, and you can see that speed.
Yep.
What do we do?
Drop it
forward, but not too much. Now I want you to judge. I want you to get us lined up on that runway.
Yep.
Now we probably need about 3,200. Get some more flaps out and get our speed down. And control our speed, and so that you know that 3,200 flaps. But hold that nose up. Hold the nose up. Trim it back. Trim it back. Get ourselves lined onto that runway. You see, we're not lined up on the runway,
yep.
So bring us over with a rudder.
That's every correction is an overcorrection, and
it takes a bit because the controls are less effective, and so you tend to work and push the control until you get a reaction, by which time it then really reacts.
Yeah.
But if I take control, I'll stop control. So let's get ourselves over here.
Yep.
Get ourselves aligned. It's mostly, as I say, just little bits on the ailerons, but it's little tabs, quick, and it's not as slow like this.
Yep.
and I'm holding it really, wings are level, making sure they're level, balanced.
Yep.
And I've actually got the speed back to 50 knots because it'll descend quite quickly.
Okay.
I want you to, you take over here. So we're now aligned,
take control.
and I want you to, see that nose has come down?
Yep.
So you're holding those wings.
Jesus.
It is a reaction.
Yeah.
That speed.
Yep.
So now it's not a this.
It's
just
this,
a forward,
yeah.
nice but not too much.
Okay.
Got control of the throttle as well.
Yep. Okay.
Keep our speed then, 55 knots, and I want you to fly. See it out? We're drifting slowly around.
Yeah.
We're wallowing. So it's be precise with your inputs. That nose is dropping. Get that nose under control. And our speed. So it's forward. It's a forward.
Yeah. I need to stop looking at it.
Yeah. Don't look at it. You can start to get a sense of when it's, you're following numbers, and this is what always happens when people follow numbers. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Because you're chasing numbers all the time. You're not concentrating on where's my nose relative to the horizon. Well, I can see that my nose is drifting over to the right. Now let's stop it. Do a bit of left rudder. So it's keeping that. A little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there.
Yep.
And a little bit of, get the umps of doing it, so you just, you can follow me.
Yeah.
You can just feel it's a little bit working.
Yeah.
Working, little.
Yours seems to be much quicker with the rudder.
Yep. But that's what you're doing. As soon as you see it reacting, you've got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to go around. No, what are you doing? There's
Okay.
power. Let's get some power. Control that right rudder. Let's get a full power. Control. Get our speed safe.
Jesus.
Right rudder. Now get our speed up to that over 50 now. First stage and flaps up. Control that nose. Now our right wing's down and we're controlling the yaw of the left by using right ailerons. So let's get ourselves trimmed, get our flaps, the next stage of flaps up. We don't want to be... Let's control that nose. So let's get ourselves configured for the climb. 55 knots. See how that ball is right out over the right. Let's get ourselves trimmed. And it's as I say, it's a steady, smooth, control. I'm glad you felt what I was doing. As soon as that nose starts moving, it's a little input. Moves a little input. And you're doing this type of stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It's not the nose has really moved down. You need a big whack to try and stop it. It's you're preventing it from continuing in an undesired state. 55 knots, 55 to 60 knots. Let's do a left-hand turn.
Clear right, clear centre, clear left.
Let's go, continue up to that 2,000 feet again. We'll do one more of that little exercise, then we're going to have to go back.
Yep.
You're probably feeling fucked.
Yep.
It's a fairly intense thing, but trust me, when you can land a Foxbat, you'll be able to land anything.
Okay.
But it does require you to be pretty accurate. You can see clearly. If you haven't got control of that nose, you cannot go trying to land. It'll turn into shit.
Yep.
So let's keep that climb going. So what are we doing? Climbing the aircraft.
Yep.
How do we climb it? Set the nose. Forget about this.
Yeah.
Set the nose to an attitude, and we're going to trim it. Then once we set the attitude, and we've got that nose, we then glance at it. It's only a quick little momentary glance. Say, yep, that's working well.
Okay. Still climbing.
Yeah. And we can go out a little bit further if you like. Just keep on climbing. turn downwind.
Yeah, right, clear centre, clear left.
So to some extent, so we're basically 2,000 feet AGL, so we can level it out now.
Yep.
And you'll probably find from where we are here, we're a bit further out, but we don't actually have correct circuit spacing.
Okay.
So you can check actually, you'll probably be a little bit close for a correct circuit at 2,000 feet AGL, because again, you should be able to look at that pitot tube and it should line up on that runway. And that's interesting. Again, now we're flying downwind. We're concentrating on flying accurately. All of the things that I've been talking about, little inputs, little corrections all the time. Is it indicating not doing what it should be? Little corrections.
Yep.
And it's gentle. Are we properly trimmed? Little corrections. We can do our downwind check. So brakes.
Brakes. Off. Undercarriage.
Down.
Mixture. Fuel.
Is on the right-hand tank now.
Yep. Left closed.
T's and P's are all in the green.
Yep.
Our hatches and harnesses are all secure. So there's our little house. So we're again, you're picturing a bigger circuit. So we're at 2,000 feet. So our turning point is up ahead of us. So,
Okay, yep.
So it's all proportionally shrinks as you get closer. As you do a lower circuit, it all gets closer.
Sure.
So you just keep on flying along this length.
That now?
Oh no, keep
Bit
it going
further?
a bit further, yeah.
Sure.
Okay, now we can go to carb heat in. Out. Power back to 3,500. Our speed below that flaps.
Flaps. Stage one.
And let's get first stage of flaps, get our speed back to that 60 odd knots, and
Yep.
get our turn going. And little inputs. Holding that nose up. So yeah. And we're perpendicular, so we're flying down towards that bit of water.
Yep.
And get us nicely trimmed. 3,200 RPM. And we can put some more flaps out. And I want you to control that. You see that nose
Yep.
waving around
Yeah,
the place. You've got to control that nose. So pointing at that lake. That's where.
Yep.
That's our perpendicular. 55 knots. Holding that nose towards that lake. See how it's going there? You
Yep.
needed a bit of right rudder to stop it.
Yep.
Yeah, so. And all the time, you're looking at where the nose is, but you're looking at what's our profile like.
Yeah.
We're probably about 1,800 feet right now. We can still keep on going, but you see that nose is going, to fly nice and straight.
Yep. Fuck.
And it's little things, so I'll just take over. So
Yeah.
little things, so get it straight. So little bits, you follow me on that rudder. So it's little bits,
Yeah.
as straight, keeping it straight, looking at that profile.
Yeah.
55 knots, looking at that profile. Are we trimmed? Picturing there now, we're just about ready to sort of turn, but it's keeping it, and you don't have to do much. There's a bit of back pressure, so we're not quite
Yeah.
trimmed properly. Yeah, that's a better trim. So you can see I don't have to do much at all.
Yeah.
Now we turn, so you've got control.
Alright,
So-
control.
So little left rudder onto that, and that's and we're about 500, the equivalent of 1,500 feet. So now let's get ourselves lined up on that runway. Let's get our nose. There are little inputs. Concentrating, where's that aim point? So the aim point is going to be inside that runway a little bit.
Yep.
So
where the shadow is?
Yeah, where the shadow is.
Yep.
And so you want that on a point. And if it's starting to sink down, you're going to get high. But look at our speed. So a little bit down. Keep that nose controlled. Little inputs. You can see little inputs.
A couple of times it's felt like we're turning off to the right, but then right rudder is indicating that I need to go more right rudder.
Yeah, that's right. You can see it's probably getting a bit high now, so we need to pull the power back a little bit.
Sure.
But you don't lower that nose, just get the power. Now we need to lower the nose to get up.
Yep.
Actually, we can pull it all the way off.
Yep.
So that's a glide, so it's 55 knots. 50 to 55. We're just keeping that nose pointing on down that runway.
Yeah.
With that nose starting to go, just a little bit of right over. Nose is coming down a bit now, that's alright. Coming up. Bit of right rudder required to balance it. So yes, you've got to make sure you don't...
That there, so we were out, and I had to right rudder, and now we're facing...
Yeah, that's all right. We're not actually on things, so we've got to get ourselves over lift. So when you're applying rudder, you can expect the ball to go out.
Yeah.
The fundamental bottom line is, when you're coming close onto short final, you need to have that ball balanced.
Yeah. Okay.
And if there's a crosswind, you'll have that nose into the wind a little bit. Essentially, you're making sure you're flying down the runway approach path.
Okay.
Controlling that. See that? You're way slow at controlling that. This is much better. You can see that speed's picking up.
A little bit?
Yeah, so just a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Now I want you to smoothly fly power, and I want you to fly at this level. We're 200 feet above the ground, and I want you to control that nose as you're flying power. Stop our rate of descent. That you're controlling that yaw with aileron. It's with power. You can see. Look at it.
Yeah.
Apply right rudder. Control that nose. You know that nose is going to come up. So
Jesus.
Oh, we're at a safe speed to lift flaps? Yes, we are. So get those dragging flaps out of the way. Control that nose.
Yep, trying.
Control. You need a bit of right rudder. You control your instinctive reaction when the plane starts to go to that way is to do this.
Yeah.
And you've got to remember right rudder.
Yep.
Get that nose, that right wing is dropping. But are we properly trimmed?
Knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, cloud, few, 3,500, temperature 2, QNH, approach.
Climb us up to 2,000.
Receipt, echo. Terminal information, echo, expect instrument approach, runway 01, runway 07, wind 060, degrees 10 knots, visibility greater than 10 kilometers, cloud, few, 3,500, temperature 28, QNH 1015, approach, frequency 126. 8. On first contact with ground or approach, notify receipt of echo.
level of soil's off. We're going to now go through the exercise of flying back into Townsville.
Sure.
So on straight and level at 2,000 feet will be good. And we can sort of bring ourselves around, and we plan on overflying Donington.
Okay.
But here you can see we've got to get our clearance at 2,000 feet by 11 miles DME.
Yep.
So Donington's 22 miles out.
Yep.
And so we sort of track along that same sort of little route
Yep.
towards Magnetic Island.
Sure.
And we can put our...
Was that back?
Yeah. Yeah, so we follow the little
We've got a train in front of us.
old road line.
Yep.
Make sure we sort of hold an altitude, and are we properly trimmed, and at 5,000 RPM. Council delivery, Foxbat Zulu Golf, Quebec with inbound details.
Zulu Golf Quebec, town delivery, man outside Class C airspace, score 4631, send details.
Stalking 4631, remaining outside Class C airspace. Zulu Golf Quebec. 146. Zulu Golf Quebec is stalking 4631. We're Foxbat currently inbound on the Stuart VFR route, approximately 20 miles to the south at 2,100. Requesting inbound by the Stuart VFR route, not above 2,000. And we've received echo, and we've got 2 POB.
Zulu Golf Quebec identified. Expect that clearance man outside Class C airspace.
Yeah. Remaining outside Class C airspace, Zulu Golf Quebec. Critical thing, so we haven't got a clearance yet, so we've got to have a clearance where the road branches around.
Yep.
And turns. We've got to have a clearance by then.
Okay, sure.
And they'll give it to us. But,
Yep.
Zulu Golf Quebec, cleared inbound by the Stuart VFR, not above 2,000.
Cleared inbound by the Stuart VFR, not above 2,000. Zulu Golf Quebec.
Zulu Golf Quebec, contact approach 126, decimal 8, g'day.
Yeah, approach 126, decimal 8, Zulu Golf Quebec. Townsville approach, Zulu Golf Quebec.
Zulu Golf Quebec, cancel approach. Landing right base runway 01.
Zulu Golf Quebec.
Given the wind was 060, should we come in on 07?
Oh no, well, if you're on your own, you'd
Yep.
assess that. I mean, there's going to be a right crosswind, but it's well within the capability.
Okay, yep.
I'm going to be landing the aircraft,
Yep.
so I don't think you're quite at that stage.
Oh, no.
So that'll be fine. And as I say, what you'll see, and probably at the threshold of the runway, it's going to be more down the runway on
Yep.
01.
Yep.
I mean, that means the crosswind's going to be about 6 or 7 knots,
Yep.
which is pretty minor, really.
Yeah.
So, and you'll just have if there's a right a wind from the right, on that approach, I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to get you to fly that approach and fly down. So you'll just have the nose pointing to the right of the runway,
Okay.
and you're trying to track down that runway, looking at where the piano key is, where's that number 01 number.
Sure.
again, exercise, are we trimmed? Are we configured right?
Yep.
Controlling that nose. So it's, again, little inputs. You've got to, the main thing is probably you're taking too long, your response time.
Yep.
The nose is starting to move and it's moving a lot before you actually are responding to it.
Yeah.
And then you're sort of probably over
Yep.
compensating.
Absolutely.
This is all of this is an exercise in how I'm controlling that nose. That's the single most thing that you've got to get into your mind.
Yep.
How do I control that nose to point to...
Cleared at visual approach via right base runway 01 at 10 miles, contact tower 118 decimal 3.
Cleared to visual approach via right base runway 01 and at 10 miles, tower 118 decimal 3. Zulu Golf Quebec. It's a very pleasant way of travelling around the country.
It's lovely. Probably not with me driving, but...
Well, I mean, you're getting there. So that's the critical thing that, is thinking in your mind, how do I control that nose?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Take your eyes off those instruments. And I'm not chasing numbers. I'm not chasing an airspeed. I want to position my nose in the right place where I know it's got to be to do what I want it to do. Am I climbing? That's where the nose is. If I'm straight and level, that's where the nose is. If I'm descending, that's where the nose is, relative to the horizon, relative to the ground. And I'm using control inputs to stop the nose from going where it shouldn't be going. As I say, the main point of the rudder is to control unwanted yaw. As I say, if your nose is yawing, you've got to remember, if it's something deviating over to the left, you control it more by rudder rather than ailerons. So essentially, that last climb out was really, that nose is really out of control. So it's thinking about it. As I apply power, I have to remember I need to apply right rudder. And it's not a big bootful, it's enough rudder to control and stop the nose from yawing. So the nose starts to yaw, I apply a little bit of rudder. If it suddenly goes whack like this, I need a lot of rudder. And I look at that, but what's the nose doing? I don't look at the balance ball to tell that. I look at what that nose is coming to the left, I need to apply a bit of right rudder.
Yeah, wow.
Again, not above 2,000, so we need to make sure we... So again, it isn't the need to adjust that, it's the big dive. But just make sure that we start a little bit of a descent. And in the process of descending, we're keeping an eye on our airspeed and our RPM. So there's a lot of stuff that you're constantly monitoring. But most of the time, 3/4 of the time, you're out of the... Maybe more than that, 90% of the time, you're out of the cockpit. Your eyes are looking outside. So the critical thing is when we're flying into towards the main runway, it's a slightly different sort of thing to what you're used to. So we're trying to picture where's that right base for runway 01. Getting our spacing and our positioning our aircraft in the correct position where we would then configure the aircraft for an approach. see there's the wind indicator straight on our nose, basically.
Yep.
So be hitting those hills and tumbling at these hills here.
Yep.
About the 10-mile mark here.
Okay.
Council Tower, Zulu Golf, Quebec.
Zulu Golf, Quebec, Council Tower.
We're cleared a visual approach, so we can descend as required, but it's still a bit early to descend. We don't need much. We're punching into a bit of a wind.
Yep.
You see our speeds are about that 93 knots, which is what's our performance with 5,000 RPM. Straight and level, trim, in balance, we should get about that 95 knots.
Sure.
And that should indicate our airspeed should be around about that sort of 90 odd knots, 85, 90. Say, if we're suddenly only getting about 70 knots, you think, okay, what the hell's wrong? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it's the likely scenario is that we probably left the flaps out or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So we couldn't put the flaps out now, but if we left the flaps out and tried to fly straight and level at 5,000 RPM, we probably wouldn't get to 80 knots.
Okay. Go and say hello to my work.
Okay. Yeah, so once you sort of get past this hill, we can start sort of tracking towards where the runway is. So we can see Mount Louisa over there, so it'll be to the right of Mount Louisa.
Yep. Oh, Jesus. Is that wind?
Look at that.
Is that just from...
Well, who knows? It's just that it started to move and you just didn't pick it up. And if it starts to move, stop it.
Grab it.
It's a quick, little small adjustments. So we can now start tracking to the left a little bit.
Yep.
Towards where the I'll put that heading bug on.
About there?
Yeah, so it needs to be I don't know if you can see the threshold of the runway, but it's almost midway between Mount Louisa and the runway.
Yeah.
See some of so a bit more to the right, I suspect.
Yep.
That's more towards Mount Louisa right now. Yeah, that's pretty good.
About there.
You can see so we can actually start a cruise descent, so put some carb heat on and get the power back and let's get ourselves down. About 4,500, we do want to get there. To make sure we are descending.
Yep.
So we sort of have a slightly nose down attitude. And again, we're trying to maintain and hold our cruise descent, our speed. So we do want to actually descend. So are we...
Sample time information, Foxtrot, our current changes, wind 030 degrees 10 knots. Cloud view 4,000, QNH 1014.
Zulu Golf, Quebec. You can see the wind pretty well 030 degrees, so it's pretty well straight down runway, the main runway.
So our buildings are the ones just past that lake on the other side.
Okay. We are making, so you see we're not descending really, we want to be descending 500 feet a minute. The speed can pick up, we want to still be maintaining a TAS of about 95 knots.
Okay, sure.
We actually also see, I think our brakes are there.
Brakes, undercarriage.
Down. We have got a mixture, our fuel
is on the right.
Our T's and P's are all in the green.
Yep.
Catches and harnesses are all secure. We want to get ourselves down. So lower the nose, you can pull the power back just a little bit more. So you can see the threshold of the radio. You get a bit of interference. I think it's from chat 4TO.
Oh, yeah.
On the radio. It's a bloody pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Just on 118.3, it doesn't interfere with the other radio frequencies.
Yep.
Zulu Golf Quebec, runway 01, clear to land.
Runway 01, clear to land. Zulu Golf Quebec. Again, you can see the threshold, so you're positioning yourself for where's our right base. So you control that, the nose just comes up and we see we're climbing, we're not actually even descending. So here, sort of probably a little bit far up, but we're sort of still a bit high, so we can actually pull that power to about 3,500 and get our speed back. So hold that nose up to get our speed back below, and you can put out the first stage of flaps.
Right now?
Yeah, you're below 80 knots, so get our speed control to that 60 knots. We want to fly, so we're flying into the thing now, and what's that nose doing? What the hell's a nose doing?
I was trying to get to 60 knots, so I was trying to get it up.
Yeah, but
and then it was going off to the right.
Way beyond what you should be to control that speed.
Sure.
As I say, little adjustments.
Yep.
What's that nose doing? I can feel the right wing dropping, and we're not actually descending right now. So we can put some more flaps out. That'll give us a bit more drag and allow us to descend.
Yep.
And you can see the threshold, so we're flying a base.
Yep.
And then flying. So it's perpendicular base. But where we should be is turning onto final at 500 feet.
Yep.
Or 600 feet, and we can see we're 900 feet.
Yep.
So we need to get that power back down a bit, and the 70 knots. So we're going to go down base too quickly.
Yep.
Control that speed. .55 to 60 knots, and that nose. Control that nose. Look at the flag at windsocket. It's almost pretty well down the right. Fluctuate. But where's that nose going?
Yep.
Where's the nose going? Little bits. Now we can turn. Now you can see the risk that we've got is we've overshot it.
Yep.
And so we need a balance, right rudder. Right, not too much, and we've got to turn ourselves onto to get ourselves back onto that and we can pull that power right the way off, get our speed under control. Speed, not too much. This airplane will descend.
Yep.
So get ourselves, so little inputs. So look at our speed. Little inputs. See that nose coming down?
Yep.
Trim back. Trimmed. Little input, so you just follow me.
Yep.
Hold it, and then this aeroplane is it'll just sink. It's just a matter of being a bit patient.
Yep.
Knots, that's all right. That wind's pull down, and it's sinking. Look at that sink. Rolling that nose, keeping it balanced. I see it's sinking.
Yeah.
So the thing is, we know it's sinking because we're 55 knots, but we want to actually make sure we have a bit of forward momentum because it's going to fall out of the sky right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to smoothly power. Keep the nose pointing down. Some brakes. There you go.
Good work.
And you can see that I guess I could have lifted the nose.
Yep.
Or lowered the nose. The problem is that it just means I'm going to cover the ground faster. So you actually land up not really gaining much and getting down because you're now further forward. You've got control?
I have control.
Townsville ground, Zulu Golf Quebec for the GA.
Zulu Golf Quebec, Townsville ground, taxi to the GA.
Taxi to GA, Zulu Golf Quebec. You can see it was being patient. It was saying, okay, I can pull the speed back to 15
Townsville
knots.
ground, good morning.
And the aeroplane was going to sink. It was being patient, holding it, keeping that nose.
Echo, request reposition on the hard fin. Test 01, Townsville ground, reposition approved. Test 01.
I was pretty pleased with that landing. It's probably
No, you should be very happy.
But you can see how as I came down, I applied a little bit of power to give myself a bit more forward momentum.
Yeah.
So I had
Test 01, information, Foxtrot now. Current wind 030 degrees, 10 knots, QNH 1014.
I did that so the aircraft has a bit of momentum. It's a low inertia aircraft, and I want the aircraft to have a bit of momentum so I can get a flare and hold off and touch down. And as I say, if I left the speed at 50 knots, if I try to arrest the sink rate by raising the nose, the aeroplane's just going to go plop and fall down on. So it's understanding what's the significance of a low inertia aircraft. Is it loses momentum very quick, loses forward energy very quickly. It hasn't got momentum, and so the speed drops off. It just basically falls out of the sky.
Vacated 01. Thank you, Anna.
Seagull 729, information echo, request taxi.
Seagull 729, a taxi to holding point Alpha 1, runway 01, time 03.5, information Foxtrot now, current QNH 1014.
QNH 1014, Seagull 729.
Seagull 729, the wind's now 030 degrees, 10 knots.
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we can do the shutdown.